Johnny Depp's potential return to the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise has been a topic of relentless speculation, fueled by loyal fans, persistent rumors, and subtle industry shifts that may now indicate his comeback is more than just wishful thinking. The mere mention of Depp's name instantly conjures up the image of Captain Jack Sparrow, the eccentric, rum-soaked pirate with a moral compass as unpredictable as the seas he sails. After his controversial departure from the franchise amid his legal battles with ex-wife Amber Heard, it seemed the Black Pearl had sailed away from Depp for good. Yet in recent months, whispers have grown louder, and signs are pointing toward a possible reconciliation between Depp and Disney, suggesting that the actor's iconic character might once again hoist the sails and navigate the stormy waters of cinema. For years, Johnny Depp was synonymous with the Pirates franchise. His portrayal of Captain Jack Sparrow turned what was once considered a risky adaptation of a theme park ride into a multi-billion-dollar global phenomenon. The character earned him an Academy Award nomination and cemented his legacy as one of the most distinctive characters in modern cinematic history. However, Depp's career hit choppy waters when allegations of domestic abuse surfaced in the wake of his tumultuous relationship with Amber Heard. What followed was a prolonged and public legal battle during which Disney quietly distanced itself from the actor, effectively removing him from further installments of the franchise. Depp's absence was felt deeply by fans and critics alike, with many arguing that no other actor could replicate the chaotic charm and unpredictable brilliance he brought to the role. His nuanced blend of mischief, melancholy, and mirth turned Jack Sparrow into more than just a character. It became a cultural symbol, and its absence left a void that sequels could not fill. As the dust from his courtroom battles begins to settle, there is a palpable sense of reevaluation happening behind the scenes in Hollywood. Depp's defamation trial against Heard, which concluded with a verdict largely in his favor, shifted public sentiment. It wasn't just a legal win, it was a moment of vindication for Depp in the court of public opinion. The trial became a media spectacle, followed live by millions across the globe, with people parsing every facial expression, every word, and every legal maneuver. Public discourse surged in his favor, with supporters praising his patience, vulnerability, and emotional transparency. Social media was ablaze with hashtags in support of the actor, such as #Justice for Johnny Depp, and fan petitions demanding his return to the Pirates franchise garnered millions of signatures. Platforms like TikTok and Twitter became rallying points for fans who were not ready to let go of their captain. Disney, ever attuned to public perception and market demand, began to feel the pressure. Executives who once saw Depp as a liability now reportedly view him through a different lens, one tinted by nostalgia, redemption, and the promise of box office gold. His name, once entangled in controversy, was gradually being reintegrated into discussions about legacy and value. Studios began to realize that the enduring popularity of the Pirates brand owed much more to Depp's charisma than they had been willing to acknowledge, and bringing him back was now not just a possibility, it was becoming a strategic imperative. Industry insiders have hinted that preliminary talks between Depp's representatives and Disney have quietly resumed. While both parties have been tight-lipped about specifics, sources close to the situation suggest that the studio is exploring various creative avenues that could facilitate Depp's return without compromising its commitment to social responsibility or alienating certain segments of its audience. This kind of cautious negotiation reflects the careful image management Disney has always prioritized. The company has been acutely aware of the polarizing effect any public association with Depp might have, given the lingering divisiveness of his legal battle. Therefore, insiders believe one potential strategy could involve positioning Depp's Jack Sparrow not as the central protagonist, but rather as a seasoned figure who hands off the reins to a younger generation of pirates. This approach would function both narratively and symbolically. It would allow the beloved character to remain part of the universe while signaling Disney's efforts to modernize the franchise for a new era. This would offer Depp an elegant return and provide a bridge between the old and the new without provoking backlash from stakeholders who remain cautious about aligning the brand too closely with any figure-carrying controversy, no matter how beloved. This approach also gives Disney room to maneuver if needed. By casting Jack Sparrow in a supporting, albeit significant role, the studio can test public reception in real time, Should the response be overwhelmingly positive, they would have a precedent to bring the character back more fully in future installments. Furthermore, this hybrid strategy satisfies both financial and fan-driven motivations. From a business standpoint, Disney is acutely aware of the economic benefits associated with Depp's involvement. The last entry in the series, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, though commercially successful globally, underperformed by franchise standards. It grossed less than previous films and was met with tepid critical and audience reception. The absence of fresh ideas and the diminishing charm of the film's leads were noted as reasons behind the lackluster performance. Notably, it was also the installment where Depp's portrayal, although still present, felt more subdued and formulaic, perhaps reflecting the growing tension behind the scenes at the time. Since then, the franchise has struggled to find a new identity. Spin-offs and reboots have been floated, including one rumored to star Margot Robbie, but none have gained substantial traction. Analysts and fans alike point to one irrefutable truth: the heart of Pirates of the Caribbean beats through Captain Jack Sparrow. Without him, the films lose their signature unpredictability, wit, and magnetism. Merchandising sales have mirrored this sentiment. Pirate-themed merchandise without Jack Sparrow at the forefront has failed to replicate the sales figures of earlier years. Attractions at Disney parks, such as the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, continue to draw long lines, particularly because of Depp's likeness as Jack Sparrow, which remains a highlight for guests. This ongoing public fascination underscores just how vital the character, and by extension Depp, is to the brand's overall identity. Another key factor influencing the reconsideration of Depp's involvement is the shifting leadership within Disney itself. With Bob Iger's return as CEO, the company has begun to revisit some of the more reactionary decisions made during his predecessor's term. Iger, known for his long-term vision and calculated risk-taking, played a pivotal role in shepherding Disney through transformative acquisitions such as Marvel, Lucasfilm, and 21st Century Fox. His leadership has always emphasized legacy, brand loyalty, and audience engagement. Insiders believe Iger is more open to the idea of strategically reintegrating figures who resonate with the public, even if it requires some initial discomfort or controversy. His return to the helm has been accompanied by a broader initiative to stabilize Disney's creative direction and re-engage core audiences who have grown disenchanted with recent efforts. Reviewing the Pirates franchise with fresh eyes, Iger is reportedly questioning whether decisions made during turbulent times truly served the company's long-term interests. The potential return of Depp may therefore not only serve as a boost to the franchise, but could also signal a broader reorientation of Disney's storytelling priorities toward character-driven narratives that respect fan investment and cultural impact. On Depp's side, the actor has remained coy but not entirely dismissive about the possibility of returning to the role that defined a significant era of his career. His now infamous courtroom declaration that he would not return to Disney, even for $300 million and a million alpacas, was clearly stated in a moment of emotional strain and public scrutiny. Since the trial's conclusion, however, Depp's tone regarding the franchise has grown increasingly reflective, if not subtly conciliatory. In various interviews and public appearances, he has spoken of Jack Sparrow with a fondness that suggests a deep and abiding connection. For Depp, the character is more than just a role. It's an embodiment of his creative identity. Close friends and longtime collaborators have hinted that while the wounds of the past have not completely healed, Depp recognizes that his journey with Jack Sparrow holds a unique significance that cannot be easily dismissed. The potential of stepping back into those boots may represent a form of personal closure or catharsis, reclaiming an identity that was taken from him during a storm of allegations and controversy. His recent career trajectory also supports the idea of a carefully planned reinvention. Rather than diving back into blockbuster territory, Depp has taken a more discerning path, accepting roles that emphasize depth and nuance. His portrayal of King Louis XV in Jeanne du Barry marked a significant artistic milestone, showing audiences and critics alike that Depp is not confined to eccentric caricatures, but possesses the range and discipline of a serious actor. The performance earned praise not just for its restraint, but for its quiet intensity, proof that he still has much to offer as a performer. Outside of acting, Depp has immersed himself in music, touring with Jeff Beck before the latter's passing, and returning to the director's chair for his long-gestating project, Maudit, a biopic about Italian painter Amedeo Modigliani. These endeavors showcase an artist intent on reconnecting with his craft, rebuilding his reputation through sincerity and passion, rather than spectacle. Simultaneously, Depp has been working to rebuild professional relationships within the film industry, appearing at international festivals such as Cannes and Venice, where he has been warmly received. His willingness to support emerging artists and collaborate on independent productions has also served to rehabilitate his public image. Rather than retreating from the spotlight, Depp has chosen a quieter but more deliberate path forward, one that keeps him visible, relevant, and respected. It's a path that also signals to Disney and other studios that he remains a viable and bankable star should the right opportunity arise. If that opportunity happens to be a return to Pirates of the Caribbean, then it will come at a moment when both the franchise and the actor appear poised for resurgence. The unwavering loyalty of Depp's fanbase has played a central role in sustaining the momentum behind his potential return. From elaborate Jack Sparrow cosplays at conventions to meticulously edited tribute videos that trend on platforms like TikTok and YouTube, fans have kept the character alive in the cultural zeitgeist. This continued engagement is more than just an expression of fandom. It represents a kind of grassroots campaign, one rooted in emotion, advocacy, and a belief in redemption. Many supporters feel personally invested in Depp's comeback, interpreting it as a broader statement about resilience and the right to a second chance. Their support has been vocal, organized, and unyielding, providing a powerful counter-narrative to the controversies that once dominated headlines. In the world of entertainment, such devotion is invaluable. Studios are acutely aware of the sway audiences hold in shaping a project's destiny, especially in an era where metrics speak louder than conventional wisdom. Indeed, the entertainment industry is undergoing a significant paradigm shift. The democratization of influence through digital platforms has restructured the traditional hierarchies of decision-making. Casting choices, storyline developments, and even franchise renewals are increasingly influenced by audience engagement metrics, social media sentiment, and online discourse. What might once have been dismissed as fan noise is now treated as a treasure trove of actionable data. Disney, with its vast technological and analytical resources, undoubtedly monitors these indicators closely. The continuous buzz around Depp and Jack Sparrow, whether it be trending hashtags, high view counts on fan content, or surges in merchandise demand, presents a compelling argument that cannot be ignored. Studios that align their decisions with public sentiment stand to gain not only financially but also reputationally, as they are seen as responsive and in tune with their consumers. In this new ecosystem, Johnny Depp's return to Pirates of the Caribbean is not merely a matter of sentimentality. It is a data-backed decision with the potential for significant returns on multiple fronts. There are still formidable hurdles to overcome before Johnny Depp's potential return to the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise becomes a reality. His highly publicized legal battles and complex personal history remain polarizing topics. Despite his courtroom victory and the shift in public opinion, a portion of the audience, industry voices, and advocacy groups continue to raise questions about the broader implications of his reinstatement. For Disney, a company that prides itself on maintaining a family-friendly image and progressive values, the decision to bring back Depp requires more than a simple fan service gesture. It must be a calculated and carefully managed process. Executives must consider how his return will be perceived by shareholders, media outlets, and cultural watchdogs, all while weighing the commercial gains. The optics of such a move need to be framed thoughtfully. If presented as a meaningful return rooted in personal growth, reconciliation, and artistic value rather than as a reward for surviving controversy, the narrative could strike a chord with a diverse audience. Hollywood has long embraced redemption stories, and some of its most celebrated figures have navigated comebacks after significant public missteps. What matters is how those returns are presented. If Depp's re-entry is accompanied by a tone of humility and introspection and not triumphant bravado, it could be seen not as a diminishing of accountability, but as a reflection of rehabilitation and resilience. The storyline, both on-screen and off, could be one of transformation, aligning with the character of Jack Sparrow himself. Flawed, unpredictable, but ultimately compelling and worthy of a second chance. within the creative community, support for Depp's return has been vocal and consistent. Actors and filmmakers who worked alongside him have offered glowing praise for his talent and presence. Kaya Scodelario, who brought intelligence and poise to her role in the fifth installment, spoke of Depp's commanding yet generous demeanor on set. Jeffrey Rush, a seasoned actor with a deep appreciation for improvisation, often credited Depp with elevating scenes through spontaneity and depth. Gore Verbinski, the visionary director behind the original trilogy, has been more circumspect, but those close to him have noted his belief that Depp was instrumental in shaping the franchise's voice and aesthetic. The creative team's endorsement is more than just professional loyalty. It underscores a recognition of artistic synergy that can't be replicated easily. The absence of Jack Sparrow from the Pirates universe leaves a tangible void. While there have been efforts to pivot the franchise in new directions, with talks of spin-offs and fresh faces, none have managed to recapture the eccentric alchemy that Depp brought to the screen. His embodiment of Jack Sparrow redefined what a pirate could be, blending slapstick with subtlety, mischief with melancholy. Without him, the films risk becoming technically proficient but emotionally hollow, a ship with all the rigging but none of the wind in its sails. The character has become a cultural artifact, immortalized in theme parks, Halloween costumes, and even academic discussions about cinematic anti-heroes. To remove him entirely feels less like evolution and more like erasure. In a broader context, Depp's potential return speaks to a shifting moment in entertainment, where the lines between public perception, corporate ethics, and creative integrity are constantly being renegotiated. Studios are learning that authenticity, responsiveness to fans, and a willingness to course-correct can foster deeper loyalty than rigid adherence to reactive decision-making. If Disney ultimately chooses to reinstate Depp, it won't just be about box office numbers or nostalgic fanfare. It will represent a willingness to acknowledge the complexity of human narratives in an age where nothing stays hidden and everyone has a voice. At present, while no official announcement has been made, the trajectory appears increasingly hopeful. Insider reports, fan momentum, and strategic industry recalibrations are all converging toward a single point on the horizon. The compass, a symbol so deeply entwined with Jack Sparrow's journey, seems to be aligning once again. Perhaps it's fate, perhaps it's strategy, or perhaps it's simply time. Whatever the cause, the idea of seeing Captain Jack Sparrow swagger back onto the Black Pearl doesn't seem like a fantasy anymore. It feels like a real possibility, one that could soon become the biggest cinematic return of the decade.